Hello, my name is Jonathan Wiley. I'm a digital learning consultant with Grantwood AEA in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I'm taking a few minutes tonight to try out the YouTube live streaming app online. I just clicked Start Broadcast and it said I can broadcast for up to 8 hours. If you are watching this, it will not be an 8-hour broadcast. I'm just going to jump in and try a few things out here and do some screen sharing. And to give this test some focus, I'm going to demonstrate one of my favorite iPad apps and give that a go and see how that works. So let me switch over to the iPad now and see if I can show you which one it is I'm wanting to share. So this is the app I wanted to show you here. It's called the IPEVO Whiteboard app, and it is made by the good people at IPEVO, who make interactive whiteboard tools, as well as some document cameras and some other things. But I really like this app for lots of reasons, and it can be used in lots of different ways. It is a free app that does lots of really interesting things. I think I would use it a lot if I was back in the classroom. So let me just flick through here and show you some of the screenshots, give you a quick overview. Then we'll dive into the live app itself and see what it can do. So it says here you can connect an IPEVO document camera and project that image with the app. You can annotate snapshots, so you can take pictures of things with the camera and annotate over the top of them. So if you were going to demonstrate maybe a worksheet or some assignment the students were going to work on and you wanted to do some example questions, you could do that here with the annotation tools. You can teach angle measurement with the Protractor, and there's a ruler tool in there too that you can use for measuring. And here's an example of what it looks like when you hook it up to the IPEVO document camera. Now, one of the nice things I like about this app is that you don't need to use the document camera at all. It was meant and created to use with the document camera, but not a problem if you do not have the document camera. I don't have the document camera today, but we're still going to have a look at some of the things we can do with it. So when the app opens up, it looks like this here. So over in the top left, you can see we've got three modes, three tools here. So the first one here, this blue dot, is the whiteboard mode. The second option here refers to the camera. So you can switch over to the camera on your iPad. Effectively, this means you could use the iPad as the document camera. So if you didn't have a document camera, but you were interested in using this app with the live annotation over a video image, yeah, you can do that here. If you did have the document camera, you're going to tap this third one here, and that switches you over to broadcast the document camera image. So I'm going to stay on the whiteboard for now and show you here we've got some tools. So this is the hand tool, and the hand tool is useful for moving text and shapes around the page. We've got a couple of pencils here, a red and a green one. So if I tap on the red one, it highlights, tap it one more time, and you can see I can set it up to choose some different colors. So I can have solid colors, translucent colors, and I can change the brush size or the pen size down here at the bottom. So I can set up two tools in advance. Maybe I'll set this one up to be black and a little bit thicker so that I can quickly switch between these tools if I want. There's an eraser tool here so that I can accurately erase and take out parts of that ink if I made mistakes, and I can change the size of the eraser. The text tool is here, but you will also see here that there is, we've got like a shape tool. So we've got the rectangular shapes, we can do squares and rectangles. We can do circles and ellipses with the circle tool. There's a line tool, an arrow tool, and the text tool as well. Over here, this last one is the toolbox, which is also kind of an interesting one to look at. This has got the ruler and the protractor that we looked at before, just briefly when we were looking at those. So you can see the ruler here, very simple to do. You can extend it out longer just by pulling on this on the corner here. That lets you expand and contract the ruler. If you want to get rid of the ruler and you're just trying it out or you don't need it anymore, you tap on the X at the top here. So we have a protractor 2, and you can see the protractor works very nicely and shows degrees, angles inside the measurements here. So again, you can make this a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, and you can see adjust the scale automatically as you move those up and down. And the last one in the toolbox here is that little cursor, and that is what I'm using right now as a pointer to point to the different things on the screen. So you might be wondering, why would I use something like that? Well, a lot of teachers like to project their iPad onto a smartboard or a projector, and when you do that, you're basically turning your iPad into a mobile interactive whiteboard. And so if you're wanting to draw students' attention to certain things on the screen while you're using this app, this little pointer tool, it's kind of like a laser pointer in a PowerPoint or something like that, that you can use to move it around the screen and point to different things, or different things you've drawn, or different images you've brought in or taken a picture of, and I'll show you some of that too in a second here. Last options up here on the top, we've got an undo and a redo button, and those are very useful to have. The trash can will clear everything on your page. So you got the eraser for, you know, some minor adjustments that you want to make, but if you want to just clear the whole page, trash can does that. And up in the top right hand corner, you got the double arrows. What that does is it goes full screen, takes away all the toolbars and everything else, and if you want to bring them back, you just tap on that there too. So if I just I don't know, started off doing some very simple math or something on the screen here, you can see that it's very responsive, easy to do. You can use a stylus, you can use a finger. The only other thing I wanted to show you here was this up here in the top right hand corner while we're talking about tools, is it says 1.0x. Now you are able to, as you can see, zoom in and out of your board. So this is 2.5 times. And you know, I can go as far, I don't know how far I can go, 5 times is as far as it goes. Okay, so you can zoom in and out of your page, and you can actually make your page smaller if you wanted to zoom out and see little parts of it. So very useful tools, very simple tools, very easy to understand tools. So I like that a lot on there too. So we come down to the bottom of the page. So we're down here, you can see it says 1 of 1. If I tap the forward arrow, this one here, I can move on to page 2, and now I've got like 2 pages. I can toggle back and forward between these 2 pages, and I could carry on with my thicker chunky marker here and do some more on this page like that. Go on to a 3rd page here, because I'm going to show you the little mountains picture here is a way that you can bring images into your app. So I've got some choices here. You can have a new board with plain white background. You can take the last current screenshot that you took on your iPad, an image from the iPad's camera, which means you take a picture of something and it appears on the screen for you to annotate over and put text and line tools and protractors and rulers and all the rest. Or you can also do an image from the photo library. So let's just do that one. The last one I took here was a screenshot of a map. And if I just zoom it out a little bit there, you can see it just sits on my desktop there. Here's my pointing tool. So if we're looking at Chicago here for different things with my class, I could talk about some of those suburbs around the outside here, point to those with my pointing tool, or I can use my arrow and, you know, circle some things, point at some things. I can highlight some different things. This would be a good one for, you know, the highlighter here. So maybe I'll take the translucent marker this time, and I could say, okay, so here is one of the main interstates into Chicago. This is I-90, and because it's translucent, you can still see some of the things that are underneath that. So all very useful, and if I wanted to jump back to other pages, suddenly they're not relevant to Chicago at all, but you get the idea of how that works. If there was something we were doing that I decided, hey, this is kind of important, we made these annotations, this is something we could refer back to later, then I would pop down here into the bottom left-hand corner where you can see the green camera button. And if I tap that, I can take a snapshot, complete with all the annotations and everything that I had on there, and I can hit the share to button and I can share it out to other places. I can email it, I can save it to the camera roll, I can add it to a new board and different things like that. However, the other interesting thing that I really like down here on the bottom, and let's see if I can bring my pointer tool back. Oh, there it is, got mixed up with the red ink, was that in the one next to that camera button is a red video button. And what that lets you do is effectively screencast and talk about what is going on your page. Now, you can annotate live over things while you talk at the same time, and IPEVO will create a video for you. So you could effectively use this for something like a flipped classroom lesson where you are sketching out and talking about some things and describing a new process for students. And if I tap it here, you can see down here there is a 3, 4, 5 second counter. It's live. It records everything on the screen. So this little arrow moving around, it would record any other pen strokes and anything else I did on the page. As I move through my pages onto the next one, back to the map here, and we did some more circles and different things. It's recording all the time. It's recording my voice. It's recording all my ink strokes. If I had a student who was ill and not able to come to class today, I could redo some of the instructional parts of the lesson and email this video out or put it onto YouTube or send it out to parents in a way that it would be very easy for them to access and see that instructional work. You can pause it at any time, which is kind of fun. So if you want to just compose yourself, think about what you want to say next, hit that pause button. You can see it flashing there, and then if I hit pause again, it starts recording. So I'm going to hit stop, and you can see it flash up on the screen. It says your video was saved to the camera roll. So if I went back to my camera roll on the iPad here, you would see the video in here ready to play. But I'm not going to show that right now because you just saw me doing the video. So that's the whiteboard side of things. I think it's really interesting and very useful option to have for teachers. I will just let's go back to a blank page here just so we can see. I will just flip over to the camera view and show you a little bit about what that looks like here. So if I come over here to the camera view, you can see my desk here where my keyboard is. And there are a couple of interesting options down at the bottom here too. I know this isn't very, there we go. You can see the iPad's kind of coming in and out of focus a little bit. But if I tap the first one that says res, I can choose the resolution of this video that I am using right now, okay? So this is the maximum resolution on the iPad. I would just keep it at that. I can adjust the exposure too. So if I wanted to make the image a little bit brighter, or it was too bright and I wanted to make it darker, I absolutely could do that right here. The focus button just attempts to refocus the iPad. So sometimes the iPad is going to be too close to the object in question, or it's going to be in low light, so it's going to be hunting for focus a little bit in and out. If you just want to bring it back and keep that focus in there, that's the best button for that. The AFC and AFS. So AFC is continuous autofocus, and AFS is a single point autofocus. So you can play with those either way. Now, the nice thing about this is, I mean, your iPad could be on a fancy iPad document camera stand. You could sit it on top of like a locker shelf. I've seen those used where teachers just raise it up and they put things underneath the camera. But you've got all your highlighting tools now so that you can absolutely highlight over an image, point to different things, circle some things, and demonstrate a live image to your class with annotations. And for those that want this option, there is the recording button, again, that we talked about last time. So not only can you record a live video image using the iPad's camera and annotate over all these things and add text and line tools and all that other good stuff, but you can also record your voice as you do all of this and have that saved to your iPad's camera roll for another time. So it's called the IPEVO Whiteboard Camera, It is a great app for the iPad, especially when you consider it is free. If you have not tried it before, it's just so flexible, so versatile in terms of the number of things you can do with it. It's a screencasting tool. It's a mobile interactive whiteboard tool. It is, you know, a whiteboard drawing app. It's a document camera. It does all of these things for free. And there's just very few options that exist today that do as much for as little. So there you go. I managed to make it through YouTube. Hopefully you saw that demonstration all on screen. And I really enjoy using this app. If you have any questions about it, feel free to leave some comments in the video below. This video will be on YouTube. Happy to jump in and answer any of those. You can also send me any messages or emails through my blog. It's at jonathanwiley.com, and I'll put a link to that in the comments for this video too. So thanks for watching. I will return, I think, with another app in the future, because this is a really easy and interesting platform for sharing and putting things out there onto YouTube to share with other teachers. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.